Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 8th of April and we will be dealing with two very important topics which are in news. First is PM Modi's visit to Sri Lanka. Just after concluding the BIMSTEC summit's visit, Prime Minister of India travelled to Sri Lanka. There he was accorded with the highest civilian honour of Sri Lanka, that is Mitra Vibhushan. This is given to the foreign dignitaries who have contributed somehow or the other in the advancement of this country. Mr. Modi was conferred this award for deepening the India-Sri Lanka ties over the years. We have stood by Sri Lanka in the times of crisis, that is 2022, and after that as well. And now also we take this responsibility in furthering the ties between both these countries in a sustainable manner. This will help India to expand its footprint in the Indian Ocean region as well. Next is Cambodia's naval base renovated by China. This naval base being renovated by China has raised certain concerns among countries like USA, Japan as well as India, because this will increase China's geostrategic footprint in this region which is already very fragile. It is west of South China Sea and it is in close proximity with the Andaman and Nicobar Islands of India. This can be an extension to China's string of pearls policy, because it is being, I would say, predicted that it will increase China's presence in this region, that is Southeast Asian region. So let's see what happens. We'll see the geography, we'll see the conflicts, we'll see the concerns in this topic. Then we will be dealing with the MCQs based on these two topics and discuss the answers to the MCQs of yesterday. Now, PM Modi's visit to Sri Lanka, here you can see him wearing a medal. This is basically that civilian honor which has been, conferred upon Mr. Modi and, the newly elected president of Sri Lanka. Newly means in 2024 only. So he was honoring it, and the theme for this year's visit has been friendship of centuries, commitment to a prosperous future. This was the theme of the visit of India's Prime Minister to Sri Lanka. It was April 4th when the two-day visit started. Multiple things happened here, and what are these things? We will be talking about it. But yes, let's talk about, some little bit background of the two leaders and all. And, in 2024, there were elections in Sri Lanka. There were elections in India also. India basically witnessed incumbency, means the previous government, the previous leader continued to be the leader. Whereas in Sri Lanka, after the 2022 socio-economic crisis, this was the first elections, and National People's Party Alliance leader Anura Kumara Dissanayake has become the president. And he does not belong to the Rajapakses. That is some, I would say, breather for India, and he is known to be having left leanings, means he is kind of socialist in nature. But when he became elected as the president, he clearly declared one thing, that I don't want Sri Lanka to be a playground for India and China to compete, because that had been happening over the last 10-15 years in Sri Lanka. So this is what it was. In December 2024, Dissanayake visited India. We covered his visit at that time, and they both chalked out a roadmap for future cooperation. And now they have kept the first step on that roadmap and accomplished the first step, I would say, because a lot of things have been, accomplished during this visit. So Prime Minister Modi arrived. There was a welcoming ceremony. He was warmly welcomed at Bandaranaike International Airport by 5 top Sri Lankan ministers, including Foreign Minister Vijita Herath, Health Minister Nalinda Jayatissa, and Fisheries Minister Ramalingam Chandrasekhar. He also was given a guard of honor at Independence Square in Colombo, and this was his 4th visit to Sri Lanka since he has assumed prime ministership, means since 2014, I would say. And there was this, the ceremonial welcome was a reflection of the strong and deep-rooted ties. We have deep cultural ties, Buddhism, then Tamils, Hinduism is also there, Ramayana culturally if I talk about. Then Economic ties are there. We have a free trade agreement with Sri Lanka, which was, which is working since 2000. So yes, we have deep cultural, economic, defense ties also. And now in this particular visit, defense ties got a new dimension. We'll see that. And why I'm saying that, defense agreement or defense cooperation got a new agreement, got a new dimension, because the defense cooperation agreement was signed and it was very significant. So this was one of the key issues which had to be addressed. Now India might be exporting more and more arms to Sri Lanka. More and more exercises might be there between India and Sri Lanka. They are there, like SLENEX is there, or Dosti is there. Dosti is a trilateral exercise. SLENEX is a bilateral exercise. Sri Lanka India naval exercise. But we can see more of these coming. Means the military or the defense cooperation getting more and more deeper. Now it is marking a moment in the relationship, particularly given the 35-year history of Indian peacekeeping forces. Indian peacekeeping forces were dispatched in 1987 by Rajiv Gandhi to lead or to enable peaceful disarmament of the Tamil rebels after the signing of the peace accord that time. And although it turned out to be just the opposite, peaceful implementation of that peace accord did not happen, which was the ultimate objective of Operation Pavan, according to which Indian peacekeeping forces which were set there had to peacefully implement that peace accord. But unfortunately things got complicated and they were called back in 1989. Economic support. PM Modi reaffirmed India's commitment to Sri Lanka's economic recovery, especially after 2022. We helped the Sri Lanka in 2022, and in aftermath also we are not pulling away our hands. We are still helping them, and this has increased confidence among Sri Lankans for Indians. Now, India previously extended help of $4.5 billion, and this was in the form of line of credits, or I would say loans, or various kind of restructuring was also done of these loans, like debt restructuring we talked about. And over the past 6 months, India has converted $100 million in loans into grants. Grants do not have to be returned back. We said that keep this as grants. So that is also part of restructuring. India has also agreed to reduce interest rates to provide financial relief to Sri Lanka. Whatever loan amount we are giving them, we are ready to reduce the interest rates also. We also did a currency swap agreement then. Currency swap agreement was, we told Sri Lanka that you can pay the bills of your imports coming from India in either INR or the Sri Lankan currency. It is up to you. No need to be dependent upon foreign currencies like dollars and all, because Sri Lanka was struggling on this ground. So all these efforts definitely have led to more robust economic recovery for Sri Lanka. But yes, there are still miles to walk, and in those miles to walk, India is there with Sri Lanka. That is the ultimate aim. So this is how we are approaching Sri Lanka right now. Several projects were inaugurated during this visit. So 5,000 solar rooftop units installed at religious places across Sri Lanka. So we have that Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. So we are kind of extending that to Sri Lanka. Not the exact scheme or not the exact Yojana, but the element of that Yojana where rooftop solar panels are being installed. Then temperature controlled warehousing facility at Dambula, 120 megawatt Sampur solar power project. And apart from these inaugurated projects, both these countries signed an agreement to develop Tirukoneswaram temple in Trincomalee, and it is located in the eastern Sri Lanka, and it has to be developed as an energy hub. The sacred city is Anuradhapura, and Sita Elia temple complex in Novara Elia will receive Indian support for development. Obviously, these are linked with core Hindu traditions, or I would say Indian traditions. That is why they have been, the Prime Minister has said that we will be developing it. He also announced comprehensive training program supporting 700 Sri Lankan citizens annually in various skill development initiatives. And various skill development initiatives in our country happen under various schemes in our country. So under those schemes only the Sri Lankans will be trained, and it is expected to boost the energy sector, because Sri Lanka is energy deficit, and we want to undertake all those efforts to make Sri Lanka energy positive or self-dependent on for energy. India also pledged multi-sectoral grant assistance for eastern region of Sri Lanka, including support for infrastructure development and humanitarian aid. So let's see, how these things continue to happen. Then cultural and digital cooperation, if I talk about. So there is this Buddhist heritage also. Actually, the original inhabitants, the so-called original inhabitants, the Sinhalese in Sri Lanka, they are Buddhists. So in alignment with the shared Buddhist heritage, PM Modi announced the holy relics of Lord Buddha from Gujarat would be sent to Sri Lanka for the International Vesak Day celebrations in May 2025. And talking about digital cooperation, an MOU was signed to strengthen collaboration on digital domain and obviously digital infrastructure in Sri Lanka, cyber security and all that has to be developed by India. So India's digital public infrastructure in itself is very, I would say, commendable, and India now wants to extend this to other countries, and so you can see over here with respect to Sri Lanka. Now addressing the fishermen issue. This fishermen issue is one such issue which is a pressing challenge, or I would say a persistent challenge between both these countries. Actually, this challenge started in 1974 when we started or we demarcated the international maritime boundary line. And according to that international maritime boundary line, suppose this is that international maritime boundary line. Here is India, okay, and there is one island over here which is uninhabited. This island is Kachativu. So this island, as per the international maritime boundary line agreement, went to Sri Lanka. But there were two conditions kept by the Indian Prime Minister at that time, Srimati Indira Gandhi. That first condition was there is one Saint Anthony's festival celebrated on this island. Indians should be allowed to visit the island without a visa for that festival. That is a one-day festival in a year. Second was that the Indian fishermen should go and should be allowed to go and dry their nets on this island. And that is during routine fishing. And to both of these, the Sri Lankan government agreed. But now what happens is, when the Indian fishermen cross these waters and they are going to this island to dry their nets, they are frequently caught by the Sri Lankan authorities. And it is not only about this island. See, in the oceans it gets very difficult to identify whether you are in Indian waters or Sri Lankan waters. If by mistake any Indian fishermen while fishing have come here, have crossed the IMBL, then they are intercepted by the Sri Lankan authorities. And then there is a lot of, I would say, legal processes and all, due to which, it takes a lot of time. And these fishermen get harassed also. Their boats are taken away, trawlers are taken away, which leads to loss of, I would say, livelihood for them as well. And then they are released after months in jail in Sri Lanka. So this is a persisting challenge. So this was also talked about. Foreign Secretary of India explained that the issue originated in 1974 when this IMBL was demarcated. Then it escalated with Fisheries and Aquatic Resource Act of 1996. Subsequent amendments in 2018 and 2023 which imposed stricter penalties on fishermen violating Sri Lanka's territorial waters. And PM Modi and President Dissanayake agreed on the need for a humanitarian approach to resolve the matter. What kind of humanitarian approach will be reflected? We will see, but yes, we can definitely take use of technology over here in resolving this particular issue as well. Then additional diplomatic events. The President Dissanayake requested PM Modi's intervention to facilitate technical discussions also in Sri Lanka's, I would say, continental shelf or this region where the shallow waters are there, or exclusive economic zones beyond that. And Sri Lanka wants to assert its maritime boundaries in the United Nations according to UN clause. Okay. So Sri Lanka is wanting India to help Sri Lanka in that. Then PM Modi also paid a visit to Indian Peacekeeping Forces Memorial, honouring the Indian soldiers who sacrificed their life during the peacekeeping operations in Sri Lanka in the 1980s. It is Operation Pavan, which I told you. And he also emphasized Sri Lanka's importance in India's neighbourhood first policy and Vision Mahasagar, which is a crucial component of Vision, the Sagar policy of India. Then the Prime Minister of India was also conferred upon with Mitra Vibhushan, Sri Lanka's highest civilian honour, basically for foreign dignitaries. And the reason for getting this particular award was exceptional contributions to strengthening India-Sri Lanka relations and his role in promoting friendship and solidarity between the two countries. So this is how this award looks like, and there is a ribbon also which was there in the Prime Minister's, I would say, neck The significance of this award, it is the highest civilian honor for foreign dignitaries only who have shown deep friendship and solidarity with Sri Lanka. And let me tell you that Prime Minister Modi is not the first foreign dignitary to get this award. It is the foremost award granted to foreigners, ranking higher than other national honors like Sri Lanka Ratna, equivalent to Bharat Ratna in India. So it is higher than Sri Lanka Ratna in precedence, this particular award. Now talking about the details of this award. Medal composition, a silver medal it is, studded with Navratnas, 9 Sri Lankan gems. So you can see these colorful gems. These are 9 colorful or 9 gems. Globe surrounded by a lotus petal symbolizing global unity and harmony. So this is the globe over there, and here there is this lotus which symbolizes global harmony. Then Pun Kalasa, ceremonial pot. This is that pot on which that this is the pot on which this lotus is. In symbols of sun and moon, the symbols of sun and moon represent the timeless nature of relationship, and Dharma Chakra at the center. So there is this Dharma Chakra at the center. This is that Dharma Chakra being representing the Buddhist heritage of these nations. A ribbon is also there, 6.5 centimeters wide ribbon is there. And talking about the history of this award, it was started in 2008 by Mahinda Rajapaksa. So this is how this award is, and the highest civilian honor given to foreign dignitaries. In 2008, this award was given to Maldives President Maumoon Abdul Gayoom, recognized for his efforts in enhancing bilateral relations between Sri Lanka and Maldives. In 2014, this was given to Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and former President Yasser Arafat posthumously, means after death, for their contributions to international peace and cooperation. And now to Prime Minister Modi for deepening the ties between India and Sri Lanka. Now the next piece of news is Cambodia's naval base renovated by China. So Cambodia's Prime Minister Hun Manet inaugurated the Ream naval base, and this has been renovated by China. And once this news was out, so there were growing concerns raised by the United States, because United States felt that this will increase China's presence in that region, and USA does not want that. And coincidence is that this naval base, the Ream naval base, was partly built by USA, and now for renovation China is being called upon. So it is located along the southern coastline in Gulf of Thailand, and Cambodia's leadership has repeatedly denied the base is being built for exclusive Chinese use, emphasizing its openness to joint exercises and international cooperation. So Cambodian government has been saying that China's presence will not be established and exclusively China will not be using it. Anyone can use it. Means we will be using it obviously, and we will not be allowing China exclusively to be using it. So this is the photo from the inauguration. So the Chinese and the Cambodians over here. So he is the Chinese executive who is basically inaugurating it. Now background and strategic importance of this particular port or naval base. This is over here the location, the Ream naval base. You can see this is Gulf of Thailand. This is Strait of Malacca, the busiest route. This is that hotspot, South China Sea, where the conflicts are. This is Andaman Sea, this is Andaman and Nicobar Island. So we are also not far away from this particular port. It is situated near the disputed South China Sea, and it can provide China with a key strategic position in the region. And South China Sea is obviously very critical for China, because China's trade, majority of the trade passes through the Strait of Malacca, and through this South China Sea it goes to China over here like this. So this is a major trade route, and China being present over here, if it gets present, then it will be having a better reach in this region, and China can disrupt the trade of other countries like India, because a lot of trade of India also passes through this Strait of Malacca. Understanding things through map should be always preferred, and that makes visualization easy, and try to just get the outline of this map practiced, so that you can do that when needed in the exams as well, in the mains. Now, China's role in renovation. So, since 2022, China has been contributing in revamping of the base, which was originally partly funded by the US. It now features 363-meter pier and facilities designed for hosting military operations, including joint military exercises. There can be a possibility that countries like USA, countries like India start a naval exercise with Cambodia. Even China can start now because China has the capacity. The concerns of the US. USA simply says that it could be used by the Chinese Navy, potentially expanding China's military footprint in Southeast Asia. And these concerns stem from a 2019 report suggesting secret agreement for China to use the base for warships, which can further intensify suspicions about region's military balance. So, that is concern with USA. Talking about the geopolitical context. So, China is here, Southeast Asia is here, South China Sea is here. China's most importantly Belt and Road Initiative is here. And China is expanding a lot in Cambodia. China has invested billions in Cambodian infrastructure under Belt and Road Initiative. China has also constructed some railway lines, roads also in Cambodia. And now the renovation of this naval base, the Ream naval base. So, it is all part of Belt and Road Initiative of China, which is a massive intercontinental connectivity project, intercontinental multimodal connectivity project, I would say, which aims to connect Asia, Africa and Europe. So, this can increase Chinese influence over there, and Washington's relationship with Cambodia, it has become more strained in the recent years, and now with Donald Trump, we don't know how it is going to unfold. But yes, China is gaining prominence in this region, we can say. We as of now cannot exactly predict that what kind of advantage China is going to have, but yes, some kind of advantage it is going to have, it seems like this. The US-Cambodia relations, they declined in recent years, particularly after 2019 Wall Street Journal report that raised concerns over a secret deal that would allow China to station warships at the Ream base. And this has led to further US military visits to Cambodia in recent years, including the docking of US warship at Sihanoukville in December 2023. Now, trust deficit, basically, it is there. Whereas on the other hand, we have an interesting, I would say, stakeholder in the equation, that is Japan. Japan-Cambodia cooperation is good. Japan is an ally of USA. In contrast, Japan has also strengthened its ties with Cambodia, and recently a Japanese warship became the first to dock at Ream Naval Base, which has been, I would say, renovated right now. It is signaling Japan's strategic interest in the region. So, let's see how it happens. Then Cambodia's defense modernization. The Ream Naval Base is part of Cambodia's broader defense modernization efforts. Warship donations from China happen. China has pledged to donate 2 warships to Cambodia, boosting the country's naval defense capabilities. It has also strengthened defense relations with other nations. Cambodia has also expanded defense ties with other powers like United States and Japan to balance its relations with China and ensure regional stability. So, this is kind of Cambodia playing a balancing role. Then implications for India and the Indo-Pacific. For India, it is in vicinity of Andaman and Nicobar Island. So, definitely it is going to pose threat to India's interest in the Indo-Pacific region. And it is also raising alarms about potential for strategic encirclement, that policy of China, string of pearls. It can further enhance or extend that string of pearls, through which China is wanting to encircle India through its naval presence in the regions surrounding India, like Gwadar in Pakistan, or Hambantota in Sri Lanka, or Kyokyu in Myanmar, like this. This can be Ream naval base in Cambodia. So, impact on maritime security. An increased Chinese presence at Ream would enhance its naval capabilities in Southeast Asia, potentially challenging India's interest in both Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean region. And as a result, India may need to bolster its naval presence in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So, this is what we need to know and understand about it. Now, coming on to the MCQs based on these topics. Which of these is known as the sacred city of Sri Lanka? Dambulla, Anuradhapura, Colombo or Gale? Consider the following statements with respect to Mitra Vibhushan and mark the correct one. It is Sri Lanka's highest civilian honor given to foreigners only. It is higher than Sri Lanka Ratna in stature. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. Carefully answer this. Third, which of these countries share a boundary with Cambodia? Thailand, Vietnam, Laos. Find the correct combination. Only one, only two and three, or all of the above. And fourth, which country partly contributed in building Dream Naval Base in Cambodia? USA, China, Japan, or Russia? Now the answers to yesterday's MCQs. Which of the following are factors for tensions in the Arctic? Climate change, yes, because climate change is leading to loss of glaciers, which is enabling navigation, and due to navigation there is more exploration of this area, which is leading to conflicts. Overlapping claims on the Arctic seabed, yes, overlapping claims by countries like Russia, Norway, Sweden, and Canada is also there, USA is also there, Denmark is there, Greenland and all. So this is overlapping claims, so both 1 and 2 are correct. The Svalbard island is under the territorial jurisdiction of which country? This is the second question. Denmark, Norway, Sweden, or Russia? It was there in the notes, and it is Norway. Third, which of these countries is not a member of BIMSTEC? So BIMSTEC has 7 members. So let's start with the 7 members. Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Thailand. So among these, China is not there, and hence China is the correct option. Fifth, consider the following pairs and mark how many of them are correctly matched. How many? Vinay Pitaka, Buddha's Discourses and Teachings. So this is in Sutta Pitaka. Vinay Pitaka, there is this rules for monastic lives. So since there is this cross connection, so both of these are wrong. Abhidham Pitaka, Philosophical and Psychological Analysis of Buddhism, this is right. So only one pair is correctly matched. That is A option is going to be the correct over here. And with this, we come to an end of today's session, and I will be meeting you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. I'm not repeating it today. Namaste. Jai Hind.